Welcome to this other exciting lesson. Today we're going to learn about visual programming. This is a topic that is in the Ministry of Education curriculum in Module 2, Visual Programming, and it is examined by the Kenya National Examinations Council, both theory and practical. Welcome, my name is Teacher Joe. This will be a series because visual programming is quite wide, so we will have a series of videos, and we'll start with number 1, learning the first topic, and the objective is to appreciate and be able to identify the visual environment. For this lesson you're going to use Microsoft Visual Basic 6.0, which is the recommended training tool for visual programming. Welcome. So I'm going to load visual programming, Visual Basic 6.0 on this computer, and then we're going to see what appears when you want to do the programming. The first thing is that it opens a window similar to most of the other Microsoft applications. This is a Microsoft product, and it gives you this dialog box that allows you to choose whether you want a new project, existing or recent. Any project that you have done and you have saved, it will be appearing on existing, and recent would show those which you have worked with recently. This is the first dialog box that you choose. We learn about each of these in our subsequent lessons, but for now we start with the standard executable, standard exe. Then we click open. So when you open, you see that the Microsoft Visual Basic application is populated. The title is Project 1. That is the default project name. You can change the project name if you so wish. We'll see how to do that. And then there is the form window that appears on the workspace here. And there is the form. The form is the control that you shall use to contain all other control toolboxes, control tools for your Visual Basic programming. Now this is the toolbox. You can move it whichever side you want. It's the toolbox. It has most of the tools that we shall be using. We shall see how to do it. When you point at any of them, there is a tooltip text that appears: a label, text box, a frame, a command button, a checkbox, a radio button or option button, combo box, list box, horizontal scroll bar, vertical scroll bar, a timer, a drive list box, directory or folder list box, a file list box, shapes, line, data control, image, and object link embedding, or what we call OLE. Then on the other side, on the right, it shows you the Project Explorer. When you have a big project, you might have multiple forms: a login form, students form, admission form, class register, attendance form, fees form. All those will be appearing on the Project Explorer. And then the form layout, it shows you where, when the program runs, where this form 1 will appear on the screen. And as you can see here, it's appearing on the top right there. If you want it to appear on the center, you set it on the center like that. You just click and drag, and to run the program, you click the press, or you click the start button like that. So the form 1 has appeared at the center of the screen. If I wanted it to appear on the top center, I would do like that. Then if I run it, it appears as that. Then to break the operation, you can stop it here, you end, or you close the X button. So that is the Project Explorer, the form layout window, the toolbox, and the form project. And there will be another tool that will come called the Properties toolbox, and you can also come here to View menu, and then you see there is the Project Explorer, then there is a Properties window that you will press F for this one. It's very important because this is what we shall use to set the properties for all our items and tools that we shall use in our project. Good thing with Microsoft is that you can rearrange your windows and dialog boxes on the screen so that everything is visible. So I can see the toolbox, I can see the Form Explorer, I can see the Properties form, the Project Explorer, and the Form Layout window on the same screen. So basically that is the layout or the IDE. Why it is called visual is because it has an integrated development environment. You can be able to design. First of all, you can design the physical. What you see is what you get. What you see as you design mostly, and mark the word mostly, is what you will see when you run the program. Mostly because there are some properties you can change, like visible is equals to true or false. You can be able to see a button on the form on design, but when you run, it's invisible because you have changed its property. So it's usually, but not always, that you see what you designed on the design view. So Microsoft Visual Basic has three views. There is the design. Then when you run, it gives you two other views. There is one for break, when you want to troubleshoot for errors. We'll come to a lesson for errors, and the other one for end. If you do the break mode, the program is still running, but it allows you to make real-time modifications, and then the program it runs again. Then end stops the program from running. So without further ado, we are going to set some properties for this form, and we'll start with a very basic form, a very basic program. We want this form, the caption here, to change from form 1, and we want to call it my first project or my first form. So what we'll do, we'll change two properties for it. One of them is called caption, because caption is what determines what will be displayed in the object's title bar or below an object's design. If it is a button, we'll see that. So we'll come to caption property, and then I'll change the caption, and I call it FRM. We'll come to naming FRM form 1, my first form. Remember, when you do this should be, sorry, this should be my first form. My first form. Then the name is where we'll give the FRM my first form. Note that for naming any item or object you give a name, you should not have a space in between. And usually we start with the first three characters to identify the object. So like for the form, I've written FRM. We'll see it because when we come to writing the code, it will be very critical for you to know which item you are putting the code for. And then the caption, you've seen where we have the caption, my first form. So the name of the form I've changed now to my first form because we have changed the caption. Appearance is 1 3D. There are 5 appearances. There are 2 appearances here, 0 for flat and 1 for 3D. Usually 3D is more appealing. And border style, you can choose whether it is sizable or you want a fixed single that cannot be changed the size, or like a dialog box or a toolbox. For this one, we'll just use the sizable number 2. Okay, we'll keep learning each new property based on the tool that we put on the form. So when we run this program, it's already a program and it now writes my first form, right? So now we go back to putting commands. There are 2 ways of adding objects in the form. One of them is to double click. You double click, it appears on the form at the center, then you can click and drag. The same thing, you can change the label, you change the name. So enter. So this is the name, LBL name, and then I wanted the caption to be enter your name, like that. Then I resize it, and then I put a text box. So we have used a label. Now I go to text box, I double click the text box, like that. This is where the person will enter the name. You can always resize. Then this one will not have the label property, the caption property. It will have a name property. So I want to change the name property to be txt name. So I'll be able to know what has been entered. But it doesn't have caption. It doesn't have caption. It has another property that we shall see. It has a text property because it's a text box. So we want it to be blank. So you can delete that so that it is blank. And then this one is called a frame. We double click it. Possibly we want to have the person select his gender. So let's enlarge it like this, and then we change its name. This is a frame, FRA gender. And then the caption, I'll put gender. Now I want to introduce another shortcut or another tip. For you to have the first character underlined, I have put the ampersand sign before the first character. You can see it here. I've put and gender. So that means that I can be able, I'm now starting to create the keyboard shortcuts for each of the commands that I'm putting in my program. Then there are two genders, so I can choose, double click the first option. Then the caption, maybe this is male, and then option 2, then the caption I put female, and then option 3, then I put let me resize, caption other, just like that. For gender, for social inclusivity, we leave it like that. So I have created a program. Enter your name, then gender, somebody has to choose. So we have used a label, we have used a text box, we have used a frame, we have not used a command button, we have used an option button, and then checkbox. So let's have a checkbox. We can put it outside here, and we can tell, and then we change the caption and we say that I confirm the above is true. Confirm the above is true. Then we enlarge it, and then now we put a command button. You double click a command button, it gets in the center of the form, then you can click and drag it. Even the form itself, you can always resize it. You can always resize it. So I want my button to be somewhere here. Let me adjust this one. Then my command button can be there. Then I give it a name, CMD, confirm, and the caption is confirm and confirm. So that is it. This one we have not given it a name. I can call it CHK confirm, and this one, option 1, I can say opt male. The other one I give it opt female, and the other one I give it opt other. So when we run the program, it's ready. My first program, enter your name, then you choose your gender, and then you confirm, then you click confirm. But right now, if I put my name and I choose my gender, then I confirm, then I click confirm, nothing happens because we have not put any code below the confirm button. So that is how you start designing your program. Now you can, let's go back to the design view. And for you to enter code, now that is programming. We have designed the graphical user interface. Now we want to write the code below each of them, or in the program. So we can have to confirm. We double click it, it takes us to the code window. This is the code window. So we have the window here that has the form window, and then we have the code window. And you see now it has a new sub procedure: private sub, then cmd confirm the click function. Now remember, we had given my button called confirm here. The name is cmd confirm. You can see on the properties, and that's why when we double click it to write the code, the computer detects the name and writes private sub cmd confirm the click behavior, what will happen when the click event is done. So I have to write my code between the private sub and end sub. Now Microsoft highlights code in different colors. Blue is for the reserved, the blacks are for the objects and the text that you write, and green is for comment. So we can write a comment here. We want the user to confirm his name. Okay, then you press enter. So it has changed to green because that is a comment. Comments are important because when you write a program, maybe you'll have 2,000 or 6,000 lines of code. When you have put comments, it will be easier for you to know why you did one thing or the other. Maybe it's 3 years down the line and a client comes and tells you, hey, there is a challenge in my program, but when you go back to the code, if you didn't have comments, it would be very tricky for you to remember what that has happened, or even send another programmer to help you sort out the mess or improve the program. So we want, I want the computer to just tell the person that the name that he has entered is known. So we want to tell the person that your name is, right, and then we write the name based on the one that we had selected here. It was txt name. So your name is txt name. So we do txt name here. Right. Sorry. The Visual Basic is good because it does parsing. It just checks the program as you write. So when you have an error, it highlights it immediately. Unlike other programming languages, until now you go to run. That's when now you're able to troubleshoot and debug. This one passes all the statements on the fly. So let's see whether it will give us an answer. We run the program, enter your name, then we write try one, this, then we click confirm. Then it tells you your name is trial 1 because the computer has detected that the content. We'll talk about variables. You see, I have not declared a variable. A variable is a named storage space that stores data. We have not declared any variable, a user variable, but so far the computer, using this simple code, it is able to get the name from the object called txt name. Whatever you enter in the txt name, then you click the confirm button, then the computer returns a message says that your name is whatever you put here. Then you click OK. Now you see the program is still running, and we wanted that if you want, after it confirms that that is your name, the program should end. Then we can add a command here. First of all, we put a comment, end the program after confirmation, and then here we write end like that. So that is how you run the program. So see you in the next lesson. We shall be able to learn more tips and tricks in Visual